I saw Sonic the Hedgehog 2, I saw the Sonic 2 movie, I love Sonic the Hedgehog, and I like the Sonic 2 movie. I'm still going through the Sonic brain rot as I'm making this video. I reviewed Sonic 2, big, super fat 50-minute Sonic 2 movie review you should check out. Whether or not you saw the movie, half's not spoilery, the other half's spoilery, but get out of this video right here if you haven't seen the movie and you don't want to be spoiled. This is a speculatory video talking about the previously confirmed Sonic the Hedgehog 3 movie, and will 100% go into details and stuff the second movie established, especially towards the second half of the whole movie. So, spoiler warning, get out now if you don't want to be spoiled. But yeah, Sonic 2 ended up being a fun movie, incredibly successful. It's on track to passing $200 million in the box office, so it's well on track to surpassing the first movie's earnings by a fair margin, which is exciting and lovely to see. And 2 having a higher budget than 1, and withholding much more story and character-rich details than the first film that are directly tied to Sonic games. So it's exciting to think about how this movie could adapt more Sonic characters, personality cues, stories, and other elements into the third movie, and any branching series and continuations of the movie Sonic canon. So, let's jump into the speculation, wishes, and predictions, what have you, for the Sonic 3 movie. First and biggest thing I could think of about Sonic 3, that was a weird way I just said that. We're going to be focusing on Shadow the Hedgehog. The Guardian Unit of Nations, GUN, was established halfway through Sonic 2. A handful of Sonic Adventure 2 Easter eggs were in the film. SA2 on the helicopter, Sonic apparently doing his bounce move from SA2 on Knuckles during their last bout. That was something one of my friends picked up on my second watch of the film. And there was a post-credit scene of a conversation between the commander of GUN and a GUN operative discussing an abandoned project from 50 years ago, with Shadow being pulled up from a pod. Still a legendary moment. Can I say really quick, because I didn't mention this in my review, I am really glad I was not spoiled on that. People mentioned they got spoiled on that. I feel bad for those who were. This is something that definitely would have been deflating if I knew about it beforehand going into the film, and being a big Shadow fan, I was so lucky I did not get spoiled on that scene. But Shadow the Hedgehog, Sonic Adventure 2 in general, it's going to get adapted in the third movie, and it leaves a lot of questions and things to wonder about. The Space Colony arc, Maria, Rouge, Gerald Robotnik, a bunch of other questions, whether related to SA2 or other elements from the Sonic series itself. Jeff Fowler, the guy who directed both Sonic movies, has mentioned in interviews of having a plan for these films. I can't find the specific interview in question as far as Sonic 3 and Shadow. I saw it on Twitter several days ago, and I can't find the link or picture to it, so unless someone can comment it below, you'll have to take my word for it when I say Jeff Fowler has had Shadow planned to be a major component for the third film for quite some time now, alongside how they want to adapt the third film, emphasizing how Shadow as a character and Sonic Adventure 2 in general has such a significantly different tonal shift and atmosphere from Sonic Adventure 1 and every previous Sonic game from there, and that the third film will be, at the very least compared to Sonic 2, darker and more serious in tone and style. This is all very true. Shadow's whole backstory with Maria, her death and GUN covering up and eliminating that in an old project, causing Dr. Eggman's grandfather all kinds of grief and misery, hell-bent on seeking revenge on all humanity, Eggman coming to the closest in this game to killing Sonic, Tails' character growth from that scenario, Sonic getting arrested from the government, etc. Plenty of elements and stuff specific to Sonic Adventure 2 were darker and more serious in tone and atmosphere than any Sonic games prior. And Jeff Fowler not only acknowledged this, Jeff Fowler also worked on the cinematic cutscenes for Shadow the Hedgehog way back in 2005. He's a guy who's worked on that game and has mentioned how much he loves Shadow the Hedgehog as a character. He's a fan of the character, he understands how much the character means to many fans, how the character brings a different air compared to Knuckles or Tails, and he's had a roadmap in mind for how to go about adapting him into the Sonic movie canon. Between all of this and how well they adapted Tails and Knuckles in Sonic 2 in my opinion, I absolutely cannot wait to see how Shadow will be adapted into Sonic 3, how Shadow will be written, and like how Knuckles sparked an excitement and intrigue in many older and younger, veteran and especially new Sonic fans with this film, how many new kids and adults might get to see Shadow and get a kick of excitement and love for the character that I got for him the first time I saw Shadow in Sonic games when I first got into Sonic. And on Sonic Adventure 2's general shift in tone, that stuff's worth considering too. Maria gets shot and killed. Gerald Robotnik as well once the Ark gets programmed to crash into the Earth, you see in that video. Eggman shooting up islands, Tails trying to avenge Sonic when he thought Eggman successfully killed him. Some of this stuff is stuff I'm sure a ton of people are wondering if they're going to keep in the movie or not. Maria getting shot in particular, that's something I fully believe they can translate and adapt into Sonic 3 relatively well with not too many obstacles. Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse had Miles' uncle get shot on screen by Kingpin, not bloody and gory and whatnot, but you see the uncle recoil from the shot, the gunfire sound, Kingpin holding the gun, etc. Sam Raimi's original Spider-Man films did this similarly too, and a lot of those Spider-Man films were meant for kids and adults of many ages, but also kids. Like, Maria getting shot, I don't think would be much of a huge hurdle the production team would have to do to get the message across of what happened to her. I am interested to see who they would cast as Maria though. We're very likely to get a live action casting role for Maria. As long as they get someone that looks a lot like her, I think most people, including me, will be on board. The fact we'll get the Space Colony arc is also very exciting. Sonic 3 taking place in space. That sounds awesome. One thing I really wish Sonic 3 does though, use more Sonic music. Between both Sonic 1 and Sonic 2, those movies barely used much music from the games. Every single Sonic fan on the planet raves about Sonic music. Having more music from the actual games in these movies would elevate so much what goes on and act as very good fan service while also getting new fans to experience these iconic tunes in a different way. If Shadow's zooming down Radical Highway beating up robots and gun officers, have Vengeance is Mine for Radical Highway play in the background. When Shadow and Maria have their backstory, Reflection playing would be amazing and heartbreaking. When Sonic and Shadow have their final face-off, blasting for True Story would be amazing. When Super Sonic and Super Shadow fight Final Hazard, blasting Live and Learn in the background, that's a genuine must. I swear, if these movies had more Sonic music, everyone would love these movies even more. Also on Adventure 2, Rouge the Bat. We're very likely gonna get live-action Rouge the Bat in this, and I'm very curious as how her story will be adapted here, if she's assumedly of a similar extraterrestrial ecosystem as Sonic and the others. I am gonna have to assume they'll either tone down her sexual appeal or redesign her to some length. I'll be surprised if they manage to keep Rouge's entire appeal intact, or if they use the barely more subdued interpretation of her design in recent Sonic games for the film. We all know how much she was designed as a fan-servicey character, but there's also the idea of her serving as both a foil and potential love interest to Knuckles. So hopefully with her introduction into the story, she'll also enhance and add to Knuckles' character in the film too, similar to how she did in Adventure 2. And as I'm reminded of Tails and Eggman when I say that, I should also mention, as of this moment in time, the only potential problem and or mystery surrounding Sonic 3, and that's Jim Carrey's potential retirement and the possibility of Dr. Robotnik not being cast for Sonic 3. Jim Carrey recently announced he's considering retirement from acting. Sonic 2 could very well be Jim Carrey's final casting in the acting business, and for fans it'd be a bummer given how much a ton of people loved Jim Carrey's interpretation of the Dr. Eggman character in these films, especially the second. Carrey also mentioned he'd love to have a fat Eggman for the third film. I saw some article or video interview title like that. I don't know if that was clickbait or actually legitimate or not, and this is a consideration compared to a hard confirm, but Jim Carrey said he was like fairly serious about the idea. But even if Carrey does decide to retire, Jeff Fowler confirmed they have ideas and plans for if Jim Carrey decides on that path and will choose to not recast Robotnik in that case too. They also teased Agent Stone as an infiltrator to Gun in the post-credit scene before Shadow. There are also a couple other Sonic villains you could consider that I'll bring up in a bit. Again, Jeff Fowler has plans for this film and whole cinematic universe with Sonic going forward. Him and the writing and production staff know what they're doing with how they want to go about this third Sonic movie, as they have with the second, and have multiple paths and ideas in mind. Personally, I have complete faith in their ability to adapt Shadow and Sonic Adventure 2 in general into a proper movie and to make it an entertaining film as the second one was, but it is going to be a little odd for fans having to consider a Sonic Adventure 2 adapted film, a third Sonic movie with no Eggman, no Robotnik in it. I can picture Agent Stone Gerald Robotnik, and Gunn being a competent enough substitute for villains when it comes to that point, it'd still be in line with the games to a considerable length of it, with Gerald and Gunn at least, but I do hope Jim Carrey at least considers reprising his role for Robotnik for Sonic 3, at least for this next film. He does such a great job as Robotnik. A ton of people, whether they like or hate the Sonic films, like Jim Carrey's performance in both. Eggman also served as a major vehicle in the plot of SA2, and for serving Tails' character very well in the game. Like, I don't think it's wrong to want or hope they have Dr. Robotnik for the third film, and if they could have Jim Carrey stick it out for at least one more film in his career. But regardless of whether they keep Robotnik or not, I have faith in Fowler and the production crew. I think they've proved themselves capable and competent at this point. Going back to character stuff, I think the third movie exploring more of Sonic's hero arc could also work very well still. Not the responsibility stuff, but probably getting accustomed to the hardships of being a hero, the more mature and serious aspects of Sonic being more heroic, akin to how he is in the games essentially, that play more into Sonic's flat character arc. I think that is a logical next step they could take for movie Sonic that would elevate his character and hero's journey while also playing more and more into his game counterpart. It also makes you wonder if Tails will get a similar character arc too. He gets a whole character development in Adventure 2, squaring off against Eggman, believing Sonic's dead, and he tries to carry out Sonic's last wish, but that kinda hinges on Robotnik being in the third film at all or not. But I firmly believe it'd be much more worth it if they could get Robotnik back for the third film, once again, not just for all the reasons having Robotnik in there I listed earlier, and why others want it and Jim Carrey back, but it'd serve in adding to Tails' character, just like his character got in Sonic Adventure 2. Another consideration, Amy Rose. We've yet to get Amy adapted in these films, and with Sonic 2 and Knuckles used and established alongside the Master Emerald and Super Sonic and the Chaos Emerald and such, they basically wrapped up the original Genesis trilogy. Maybe Sonic's next step in his hero's journey and growing up is finding love. I feel like the movie canon embracing romance around Sonic is another possibility they might have considered. I don't know if they'll go that route, but I'm unsure how they'd incorporate Amy into the story with any major purpose beyond just triggering Shadow's lost memories near the end of the story, which they could probably do JoJo for that instead for all we know. But she is an integral character to the Sonic franchise and a main part of the Sonic cast. Maybe between Agent Stone, Gunn and Shadow, and or if Robotnik come back, they could find some way to mix Metal Sonic in there and give us that Sonic CD branch for the movie canon if possible. I don't know. Colleen O'Shaughnessy, Tika Sumpter, and Natasha Rothwell expressed interest in the movies using Amy. She's also a well-liked character from the games. She could also provide some really good synergy and character interactions between Maddie and Rachel as well. Like, Amy interacts really well with the human characters in Sonic games and multimedia. I feel like Amy is a relatively safe and reasonable expectation, if not want, going into the Sonic 3 movie. There's also Sonic Adventure to consider as well, or at least parts of it. Chow, Big the Cat, and such. I'm willing to bet they'll probably hold off on Big. I don't think they have a reason to use Big for this movie. Chow, I have no idea. They are very much a beloved aspect of both adventure games, but they serve more Adventure 1's plot than 2's, so I have some doubts. Also, given Jeff Fowler worked on Shadow the Hedgehog and Shadow's origins, there's also the question of if the black arms from Shadow the Hedgehog will be used at all too. That's another genuine possibility, given this is probably going to focus solely on Adventure 2, based on what we know anyways. I don't think they're going to dip into that. They might use the black arms later down the line, if they want to. If Shadow gets a series or his own movie, I can definitely imagine that, but it is something worth considering as a possibility. Mainly, I think Rouge is a very safe assumption to make as far as new characters go, but I do think Amy has a fair and viable shot as well. And as far as character stuff, writing, plot, etc., between Sonic, Shadow, Maria, Gerald, Robotnik if he comes back, Gunn, Tails, Knuckles, and maybe Rouge and Amy, I do think the team will manage to make them well written and faithful to the source material, as they managed to do with Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, Robotnik, and most of the humans in Sonic 2. I do have faith and reason to believe this third movie will be well made and perform well in the box office if their cards play out again. And another thing to consider with all this, we're getting a Knuckle series on Paramount Plus next year. Idris Elba confirmed he'll be reprised for the role for that series, and we're going to get more of Knuckles and his character expanded, but through that series. There's a strong chance some stuff for this third movie could be established or blueprinted via that spin-off series. Rouge, maybe Team Chaotix, more Sonic and Tails stuff, Agent Stone, Amy, Chow, Big, Cream the Rabbit for all we know, etc. We know nothing about the spin-off series other than Knuckles is the main focus, but they could very well use that series to springboard ideas and characters for the third movie, and given both these movies took about 2 years-ish to produce and this spin-off series is coming next year, I can imagine Sonic 3 will come out around summer or fall of 2024 if the Knuckle series doesn't take up too much time or resources. I'm really looking forward to the Sonic 3 movie when that comes in the next few years, especially with how much I like the second movie. I can't wait for Shadow, I can't wait to see how SA2 will be adapted, if Rouge, Amy, and other characters will be added to the Sonic movie canon, and how much more this movie franchise will expand and evolve at the rate it's going. Dude, I'm so excited. It's gonna be so cool. Hope you guys are feeling the same as me. Also can't wait for the Knuckles spin-off series 2. Thank you very much for watching, and via Let's Plays, discussions, streams, and analyses, stay tuned for more Sonic content. Stay super.